Broadcasting live from the Newsmax studio in New York City, here is Steve Malzberg.
And I say to you, forget the extremists. It's simple. No one hunts with an assault rifle. No one needs 10 bullets to kill a deer. And too many innocent people have died already. End the madness now. Pass safe, reasonable gun control in the state of New York. Make this state safer. Save lives. Set an example for the rest of the nation. Let them look at New York and say, this is what you can do, and this is what you should do. This is New York, the progressive capital. You show them how we lead.
You want to talk about progressives? Let's talk about Woodrow Wilson progressives, if you want to talk about progressives, Governor Cuomo. Welcome back to the Steve Malzberg Show. Demagoguery at its finest, in my view. And he left out in May. I didn't hear the whole speech. That obviously was just a portion. But the children. He didn't say the children. I'm sure he did at some point. Okay, joining us now, ladies and gentlemen, is Tom King, president of the New York State Rifle and Pistol Association. Hey, Tom.
Hey, Steve, how are you? Yeah, he did say that he never left out anything in that that rant.
I'm sure.
You know, he covered all the bases.
Well, it's really sad and unfortunate to lead people to believe that by piling on more laws, you're going to stop a madman. And by the way, I want to express my sympathies, and we don't know all the story yet, but in Oregon, in a high school near Portland, we believe that one gunman is dead and one student is dead in a high school shooting, and that's horrific, and that's something that really I can't imagine laws, and again, we don't know the circumstances, but looking at other tragedies, what specific laws that already aren't among the 20,000 or so that we have in this country, I don't know what laws could have prevented a shooting like that. And our sympathies go out to those who lost loved ones in that. I know you feel the same way.
Yes, I do. You know, it's really far too early to discuss it since there's no details available yet. You know, but of course our sympathies go out to the loved ones.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, let's talk about this New York Safe Act and what it's resulted in. Again, this you know, I saw Blumenthal on after the one of the latest shootings, and he was talking about how it all would have been prevented if we had just you know, acted after Sandy Point. And it's just misleading people and lying to people. But talk about the Safe Act in New York and what it's resulted in already insofar as loss of business and people with arrests now and everything else.
Well, first of all, it's resulted in increased crime and gun crime rates in New York City, but the Safe Act was supposed to stop all of that. And as far as lost businesses, there's you know, there's a number of people who've moved out of the state. Car Arms, which makes a really top shelf concealed carry pistol, moved their corporate offices to Pennsylvania, and then about 10 days ago announced that they had purchased 250 acres of land where they're building a 120,000 square foot production facility, and they're going to employ 200, 250, 300 people down there. They're not quite sure of the number yet. But those are jobs that could have been in New York State because Car Arms was located in Yonkers prior to moving. Then you have Remington. Remington moved their Bushmaster and their 1911 line down to Huntsville, Alabama. You know, it's only a matter of time. You know, if these manufacturers who have been in New York State for many, many years, making lawful and legal products, can't sell them in New York State, why bother to stay here? And that's the tack that these manufacturers are taking.
Absolutely, and that makes sense. But they don't care about the loss of jobs. They just care about the demagoguery. When I say they, I'm talking about Governor Cuomo and people of his political ilk. And let's talk about the Black Rain, the semi-automatic. What the law has done to this. Let's take a look at this. If we have it, we put it on the screen. There it is. Or we're looking at it right now. You want to tell us, Tom? What?
Sure.
Yeah.
You know what Black Rain has done. You know, prior to the Safe Act being passed in New York, there was a a similar assault weapons ban in California, and it banned many of the same features that are banned under the SAFE Act, and one of them was a pistol grip that protrudes prominently from the bottom of the firearm.
Right, we're looking at that now also, yeah.
Yes, okay. And so this company, Thorson Manufacturing, looked at the laws, and decided to design a stock that was compliant. And the result is the stock that is being mounted to the back of the Black Rain. And Black Rain is the first company that I know of that's offering that as a standard product in their standard product line for a New York compatible gun. Now, there are many people who have already bought the stocks direct from the manufacturer, and there are some gun shops and that are buying them also and modifying the guns when they get into New York to sell them. But it's it's the old thing, necessity. Invention is the mother of necessity.
Right. Because the grip is what makes it illegal.
Well, the grip, yeah, and they've added some other things like a bayonet lug, and I can't remember the last time anybody was attacked with a bayonet either in New York or anywhere else in the country, attached to a rifle.
Yeah.
And then there was, the magazines, 30-round magazines were outlawed, and there was muzzle brakes that were outlawed. But the lawsuit that we filed against the SAFE Act, we, meaning the New York State Rifle and Pistol Association, the judge in the Western District Court ruled the muzzle brake section of the law was unconstitutional, so that has been thrown out.
Well, that's good. Let me ask you about the larger picture. There's a report that the Department of Justice is targeting the gun industry with this thing called the Choke Point program. And the Choke Point program was designed to, Operation Choke Point, as it's known, to go after legal companies that it finds objectionable, and it never before has been used against the gun industry. See, I've been convinced that this buy-up of ammunition that we've heard so much about by various departments in the government, I just think that's Obama saying, okay, I can't get it through Congress, we can't change the Constitution, so we're going to make ammunition scarce, we're going to do this, we do everything we can do. And now you have this report. How fearful of you of this backdoor approach by this administration, which has been shown to be used on so many other issues, circumventing Congress, circumventing the Constitution, that it's going to be, it either will be or is now being targeted towards the gun industry?
Oh, well, we're concerned. Any method that comes from an edict rather than through a legislative process concerns us, because there's not a lot we can do to control it other than doing a little bit of lobbying. But where this has to stop is the Senate and the House of Representatives have to say enough is enough. You are not a monarch. You were elected by the people for the people, and you have to follow the rules. And if he doesn't, impeach him. That's the bottom line. He's not above the law. The president of this country answers to the Constitution, and he is not above the law.
You got a story. It's not a funny story. It's an ironic story, and it's a sad story. But a North Carolina restaurant that had joined, I'm sure you're aware of this, this is back in late May, that had joined with other restaurants, large and small, around the U.S. and asking customers not to bring guns inside. They had a no gun sign in there, a sign with a gun with a line through it in their window, and they were robbed at gunpoint. And it's just common sense. When you advertise to the bad guy, who will always have a gun, no matter how many laws you have, when you advertise to the bad guy that, hey, you could come in here because we have no way to protect ourselves, they will.
Absolutely. That's been proven time and time and time again. And there's an example. about 15, 20 years ago, schools in Israel were having a problem with shooters coming in, mostly people from the West Bank, and some Palestinians were coming in and they were shooting up schools. And Israeli schools were gun-free zones at the time. So what did they do? They trained and armed some of the teachers, and there are no longer.
Yeah, AK-47s, absolutely. I want to point this out. 600 plus murders in New York State, I believe, last year. 126 of them with a knife, 11 of them with a rifle.
That's right, and if you go to the statistics, if you delve into them even more, and you look at how many were considered were done with assault rifles,
that's even less.
It's like 2 or 3.
Hey, listen, a pleasure to talk to you, and I appreciate you coming on. Keep up the good fight, sir.
Thank you very much. Anytime. It was a pleasure.
Thank you. Tom King, ladies and gentlemen, here on the Steve Malzberg Show. All right. Very, very important stuff. Very important issue. The demagoguery never ends when it comes to guns. We're coming right back. Don't go away.